Hi, Saranya.
Hi, Hima.
Today, I'm very honored to speaking with Saranya, who is a certified diabetes educator, but also a mother and a caregiver. And today, we'll be exploring your story about how you manage, emotionally manage and navigate your child's type 1 diabetes diagnosis.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Hima. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be hosted in your story space.
So let's go back to the very beginning. Um, when did you notice that there was something different about your child's health? What was that moment like for you?
I wouldn't say it was a single moment. It was a series over a few weeks, actually. Right now, she's 15 and she was 7 when she was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes.
Okay.
She was losing weight consistently for 8 weeks. She
Mm,
lost 8 kgs. We were very concerned about why she's losing. She is a very healthy kid
mm,
who eats very well, and a few doctors, couple of pediatricians missed the diagnosis.
mm,
Even when she had a viral fever, we went to him saying we're not worried about the viral fever, but something is off the charts. And finally, she went into a complication, severe complication for sustained, prolonged high sugar, which is called diabetic ketoacidosis, which involved requiring admission to ICU.
mm,
That moment also was not very shocking to me because I assumed the gravity of the situation had not sunk in. When the doctor said your child needs to be in ICU, I thought it was a temporary situation. She has sugar due to some viral infection, and with medication, it will be resolved.
yeah.
But when the next day, when the endocrinologist sat us in his office and he explained the pathology of type 1 diabetes, I remember him drawing on a paper and explaining. I remember the tears were flowing
Mm,
non-stop, silently, and I would say I was shocked. I never knew a child can have diabetes.
yeah.
And he was explaining it as an autoimmune condition where the body just, pancreas just stops producing insulin. And it
Mm,
has to be supplemented from outside, produced by outside, which is meaning you have to give insulin shots, injection. But he
mm,
was trying to soften the blow by saying that it's just an insulin deficiency, just like any other iron or calcium deficiency, but you have to walk a thin line here. You cannot
mm,
dose more or high. They'll go into hyperglycemia, hypoglycemia. So once we came back from the hospital, we stayed for about 5 days. It was then I realized the magnitude of the condition. It's like it was shocking. I would say earth shattering. It was a life altering moment for us. It was devastating because she's only 7 years old and
mm,
she has to live through injections for the rest of your life. So
mm,
confusion, didn't know how we are going to take it forward, fear of the unknown. All
yeah.
emotions were all over the place
Mm.
initially. Yes.
I can imagine how even the those moments when she was losing a lot of weight and not
Mhm.
understanding why could have been so confusing and worrying
Mhm.
and not being able to have a proper diagnosis.
Yes.
Could have
And
been
the worst part is my family has an extensive network of doctors. My cousin brother is a doctor, uncle is a cardiologist. We went out for a meal with them. There are five cardiologists in the table. None
Mhm,
of them were able to spot she is having a tummy pain or a
yeah.
weight loss. They honestly said, even if you had brought to me, I
Mhm,
wouldn't have diagnosed it. It invariably presents in children in diabetic ketoacidosis, which is serious condition. So we had to make peace that this is the way it would have been no matter
yeah.
what.
Mm,
So it did help resolve a little bit of guilt that
mm,
we missed the signs and we didn't take care of her much earlier when we could have done much better. And she didn't have to
mm,
go through this for about 8, 9 weeks. Yeah,
mm.
it is a process.
You said there was a little bit of guilt. Could you
Hmm.
talk about that a little bit more?
See, my parents or my in-laws or even my grandparents, none of them had type 2 diabetes, which adults
Mm,
have sugar. So I had no clue, none of her family had any clue about the symptoms of diabetes. So she was constantly urinating, having thirst and,
mm,
hungry. And we missed all of it for about 6 weeks.
mm,
And that guilt stayed with us with a huge high intensity for a very long time that we missed signs of diabetes and a very active kid of fainting for no reason and
mm,
we missed it. That guilt is still there, overwhelming. The intensity maybe has gone down,
mm.
but it is in the background always that there is a low sugar I haven't caught, there is a high sugar that's spiraling that I'm not able to control. So it never truly goes away.
Mm.
Yeah.
Is there can I say that there's some amount of helplessness as well?
Uh, yes, helplessness when we are not able to control the sugars, no matter what we're doing, we're following the rules by the book, we're doing everything right, and the condition itself, the chronic condition, comes with a lot of uncertainties. Yeah.
Mm,
So yeah, and when she is at school, there are a lot of variables in play.
mm,
I'm
mm.
not able to control, and there's helplessness throughout in management.
Yeah.
We always want to have perfect
Mm,
line, graph, and figures, but
mm,
we have learned to deal with helplessness
mm,
and let the uncertainty of the condition make peace with us. And this is how we're doing the best we can.
mm.
And yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I can imagine parenting itself is such a challenge, and along with that, having a child with type 1 diabetes is an added layer.
Yes,
Yeah.
true. And we are navigating teenage
Yeah.
adolescent stage now. So,
Mm. Yeah.
yes.
So earlier you were talking about how initially you didn't realize the gravitas of the situation, of the magnitude of the situation,
Mhm.
and how when the doctor was speaking, you had tears um,
Yes.
rolling down. And
Mm.
after that moment, after the diagnosis, how did it feel to step into the role of both a mother and a medical caregiver? What changed in terms of maybe your relationship or even your day-to-day life, even your emotional management?
I would say an explosion happened. A lot happened. I had no choice but to step up my role as mother and caregiver. As a mother, I had to comfort her emotionally, be there for her. Although I wanted to say it's okay, it's going to be okay, it's going to go away, I cannot lie to her and myself. And she's such an intelligent and she was mature way beyond her age and wise. We didn't have to explain anything to her. She understood by the conversation we were having. So a little part of me had to do the consoling, but the majority role I had to play was a caregiver. I had only 3 days on the job training. It was not easy. I had to learn a lot. It was involved a huge learning curve. In 3 days at the hospital, the nurses taught me to inject on a toy, soft toy,
Mm,
and I had to learn a lot of math, carb counting, and calculating doses. And every meal is a math game, and it comes with the heaviness of the decision is also takes a mental toll because I cannot go wrong. It will impact her, and she may end up fainting in school or having a hypoglycemia. So it was not easy stepping up, but it was overwhelming, definitely.
mm.
Yeah.
And all of these are everyday tasks, right? Like making a meal, and it's constant calculation. Like you said, a meal became a math game, which can be overwhelming.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. Yeah. It is relentless. And
Mhm.
the autoimmune condition, the nature of this is relentless. It is easy to get burnout. Burnout is inevitability. There's no question about it.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, day and night. Type 1 diabetes caregivers have to make at least 194 extra decisions in a day. Uh,
Yeah.
from meal planning to carb counting to counting insulins and counting carbs to treat a hypoglycemia, there's a lot of decision making, which is
Yeah.
mentally exhausting, both physically as well. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, the mental load of making constant decisions, and each decision is quite heavy.
True.
So
Yeah. Mm.
it's a big toll.
There can be huge impacts on the decision. That is what makes it
Yeah.
you're accountable, responsible. And again, we go into this circle of guilt,
Mm.
which comes because of our own shortcomings and not able to manage the situation well.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Mm.
a constant loop.
Yeah. So yeah, you mentioned that there's guilt and also some amount of fear maybe, and constant decision making. How do you navigate all of these feelings when they come up?
Um, the intensity, the trauma was intense 8 years ago.
Okay.
It was overwhelming, but now we are able to manage it in its intensities level, although it doesn't go away. The fear, it was ruling our life, sleepless nights, the fear that she will go into hypo, on all that. With the advent of technology now, she is continuously on a continuous glucose monitor where we get data points every 5 minutes. So we
Okay.
are able to preempt hypoglycemia and proactively treat it, and we are able to sleep with little bit of peace, not so much fear. So it's revolutionary med tech,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's helped us ease us, and navigating it is now much easier than it was before, because that time we were fear was ruling our life. We had to tread the path of fear of unknown, but now we have strategies in place, and we're able to. We have a grip or handle over things that we are able to manage with ease now better.
Yeah, I'm glad the med tech is improving because it makes such a significant difference in the caregiver and the person's
Yeah.
life. Yeah.
It has tremendously improved the quality of life, I would say.
Yeah.
Stepping out to eat without guilt or
Mm.
constantly doing the math,
Mm.
letting the insulin pump. She's on auto hybrid closed loop pump now, which uses machine algorithm and makes its own auto correction decisions and corrects it. It's taking half our load. I would say 75% of my work, and
Mm.
it
Mm.
is doing much better job. I have to give credit where it is due than ours, and so it's very, 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 very reassuring, and
Mm.
very. The results are there to say, because the time and range and HbA1c sugar levels is what makes the treatment very effective therapy. And already we are 1 month into it, and we are seeing remarkable difference, huge difference in the
Mm.
control levels. Yeah.
Mm. What has been some of the most emotionally challenging moments for you in this journey?
Emotionally challenging moments are the realization that I have so much more strength in me, that I can show up day in and day out to count carbs and give a dose, no matter how exhausted I am and tired. And the ability to bounce back quickly
Mm.
from my own
Mm.
what is it, exhaustion and mental toll. And
Mm.
the emotional challenges has been huge in terms of the stigma associated with type 1 diabetes. The questions we had to feel, my child had to face. Did you eat too much sugar to get this? And smile through so many myths. Those have been very challenging. And, the vacations we have to cut short, the birthday parties, every birthday party we have to keep guard on what you eat, how much you eat, count ups, not able to truly celebrate or have fun, and withdrawing from sleepovers and all that. A lot of challenges when we get unsolicited advice from well-meaning,
Mm.
intending friends and relatives, that, it's not easy to navigate those
Yeah.
things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Those have all been a lot of challenges.
Yeah. A sense of normalcy being disrupted. Is that?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And my daughter having to explain the patch on her arm, why she had to wear
Yeah.
CGM, and why she need to prick before eating and all that. The explanations have been endless, the questions, those are very challenging everyday moments for my daughter, I would say, and for us,
Yeah.
the judgment probably coming in. Mm.
And with these moments where it feels like you have to explain your story and your situation, would those moments make you feel isolated or unseen in a larger group? Yeah.
Absolutely, a lot, you know. Yes, the need to explain becomes exhausting after a point, and it is a very, very lonely battle that I have to fight. I have to be the bad cop, the one who sets boundaries, the one who says no. It's a very, very lonely battle, you know. And yeah, because knowing the weight of the consequences, I cannot bend the rules, and it's a very lonely path.
And earlier, you were also talking about one of the things this journey has made you see is your resilience and your ability to bounce back up. And how has that changed the way you see yourself as a woman, as a mother, and as a caregiver? Uh,
Uh, as a mother, it has definitely made me more assertive
mm,
and fiercely strong because I'm very unapologetic when it comes to prioritizing my daughter's health.
right.
I would question norms and be very strong. And
Mm,
as a human being, I have become very empathetic. You
mm,
never know what other person is carrying when you have lived under so much noise of a chronic
yeah.
situation in the background. The understanding of human emotions and empathy is enormously increased. Yes,
Mm,
as a caregiver, it's been immensely challenging and hugely gratifying as well, you know. Yes.
mm. And what have you learned about your own emotional resilience through this experience?
My own emotional experience, resilience, I have learned that it's okay to be not okay, and really initially I was not very good at asking help. I was running purely on adrenaline and willpower, and inevitably it burnt me out, and I then realized that I needed to fill my cup before being able to provide more. And this is not a sprint, it's a lifelong marathon. So I have moved on from being tough to being gentle and tender with both my daughter and myself, being kind, that it we cannot be perfect no matter what. We need to handle it with compassion. We need compassion for numbers, compassion. See, I cannot have aim for perfect numbers all the time. By numbers, I mean blood sugar levels. So it's the emotion behind this long game is very important. I learned to be more compassionate with myself, my daughter, and the condition itself, and let it slide to little unhealthy levels in a between, indulge with cakes and desserts, because it's a long game. We cannot be perfect 24 by 7 and be rigid with our rules. And
Yeah,
at the end of the day, it makes us happier, and as we are navigating this unpredictable path, both of us together.
right.
Yeah.
Mm. See, you said you have to fill your own cup before you can, and it's okay not to be okay. And how do you care for your own mental health while caring for somebody else?
As I said initially, I was so driven to come on top of managing type 1 diabetes a lot. So
Mm,
I didn't realize the extent to which it was taking a toll on my physical health in the first place,
right.
until I had a nervous breakdown. I had to take a back seat and let others caregive for my daughter. I was operating under the oppress memorandi. I can only do the best, right? Now I've learned to ask help. Even when she goes to her friend's place, the mothers are more than ready to accommodate whatever special dietary requirements she needs. And even in sleepovers, they are very, very understanding about how to take care of her. They ask questions, they're willing to offer support. And and then I have a non-negotiable me time where I go swimming or a quiet walk or Zumba, and I have a meal out with my friends. So it has given me a more better coping mechanism to tread this path, you know. Yeah.
I'm glad you have that support systems where you feel emotionally held, whether it's your daughter's parents or even your friends. And would you feel comfortable relying on those support systems?
Previously, no, but now I know I have to, and I can trust them to give their best. And yes,
Mm.
yeah. It is.
So one last final question, and it would be your message, because you are a mother and caregiver, but you also have a mission to bring more awareness about type 1 diabetes, right? So if you could speak to another parent beginning on this journey, what message would you share with them? Not about the medical, because there's a lot of information about that, but I know you're very knowledgeable about that as well, but also about your emotional journey. What message would you share?
I would tell them honestly how raw and real it is. That if we feel you're carrying the entire weight of the world, or it is the world has the earth has shifted beneath you, it has. In many ways, your life is not going to be the same again. But I want you to know that you're not alone in this journey. I found my strength in T1D community, where I could reach out to them at any time, and anybody would be available to give me the support, answer the questions I had, innumerable questions. So I would reiterate them. I would remind them that they are not alone, and as a community, we are there. We are in this journey together, and we are there to uh, handhold them during the initial days, and be the best support we can be to help them learn the nuances of handling type 1 in the initial days. Yes. Knowledge is your best friend. I would tell them to learn as much as they can and be strong. Yeah. And of course, they will have more strength in themselves than they know of. So that would be my
Right.
message.
Thank you so much, Saranya. You've so honestly and vulnerably walked us through your story from the very beginning of it was like an explosion after the diagnosis, and it was very overwhelming, to the feelings of guilt and loneliness, but also resilience that comes along in this role. Thank you so much for sharing your story. How are you feeling now after speaking about this?
I feel I have shared my story and my journey. It would probably help others navigate this path with confidence that they can also do this. And thank you, Hima, for having me and the School of You. And I'm glad I could share my story with you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. Mhm.
have a good day. Thank you, Hima. Bye.